Thinking about booking a cruise? Before you grab the umbrella drink, hear what former crew say really happens behind the smiles. From house-friendly casino odds to secret tracking, surprise medical bills, and hidden corners, we're revealing what brochures skip. This isn't a takedown. It's your insider pass to cruise smarter, save money, and avoid rookie mistakes. Stick around. The most surprising secret shows up when you least expect it. Ready to board? The medical bills no one warns you about. One of the most shocking secrets former cruise employees share is how expensive medical care can be at sea. Shipboard medical centers are not public hospitals. They operate more like private emergency clinics. A simple visit for seasickness can run over $800, stitches for a cut may cost $1,200, and more serious cases, like chest pain evaluations, can climb into the thousands. Former medical staff say many passengers are caught off guard because their regular travel insurance may not cover care on a ship. Families have been hit with bills of several $1,000s, only to discover that reimbursement is partial at best. The insider advice is clear: always travel with insurance that specifically covers cruise medical emergencies. If the issue isn't life-threatening, consider waiting until you're in port. Local clinics can charge 60 to 80% less than the ship's doctor. Former staff note that their role is often to stabilize patients until they can be treated properly ashore. It's not a reason to panic, but knowing this secret helps you prepare. A small investment in the right insurance can save you from a nightmare bill later. Big Brother at Sea: how you're really tracked. Most passengers are amazed when they find out just how closely cruise lines track their every move. Former crew explained that the moment you book, the system begins building a profile of you. When you swipe your cruise card, whether it's buying a drink, stepping off the ship in port, or even just opening your cabin door, the data is logged. Newer ships use wearables like Princess's Ocean Medallion or Amessi's smart wristbands, which can pinpoint your exact location on board in real time. Add in security cameras and behind-the-scenes monitoring, and the cruise line can know far more about your movements than you realize. Why do they do it? It's not about spying for fun, it's about business. High spenders may suddenly be greeted by name, offered faster service, or given special attention. Guests who complain frequently might be flagged so their cases are handled differently. Former bartenders say they received lists of VIP guests and favorite drinks before night one, so service felt magical even though it was data-driven. The system also keeps tabs on passengers who are late returning from shore, who skip meals, or who spend heavily in the casino. It helps crew adjust service times, tailor offers, and prevent problems before they escalate. The takeaway is simple: don't stress, but be aware. Your actions shape your onboard profile. Treat the crew with kindness and tip fairly, and you might find yourself bumped onto the good list, where small perks and little surprises suddenly make your vacation feel a lot more special. Outbreaks at sea: what cruise lines don't announce. Most cruise passengers imagine spotless ships with gourmet food and perfect hygiene. The reality is that outbreaks of illnesses, especially norovirus, do occur, and they aren't always made public right away. Cruise lines are required to report outbreaks to the CDC's vessel sanitation program only if 3% or more of passengers or crew are affected. That means smaller clusters may be handled quietly without official announcements. Ex-crew members have explained that in those cases, protocols kick in quickly. Staff increase cleaning routines, hand sanitizer stations appear everywhere, and buffet service may switch to crew-only handling. For guests, it might feel like an extra safety measure, but behind the scenes, it's often damage control. Nobody wants headlines about a cruise ship plague. The takeaway is simple: always wash your hands, avoid touching buffet utensils with bare hands, and use the sanitizer stations even if others skip them. Outbreaks are rare, but when they do happen, early prevention makes a huge difference. Knowing this secret helps you protect yourself without the need for alarm. If this video helped you chart smoother waters, hit like and subscribe. We've got plenty more cruise hacks coming your way. The casino secret cruise workers warn about. Cruise casinos may look like a floating Las Vegas, but the reality is quite different. Unlike land-based casinos that are heavily regulated, shipboard casinos operate under different jurisdictions and maritime regulations. That means slot payback percentages may be less favorable, and payout percentages typically aren't published for passengers to see. The truth? Most people have no idea how much less favorable the games can be compared to what they'd find back home. That's why former crew members often say, treat the casino as entertainment, not a financial plan. The smart move is to set a strict budget before you walk in. Stick to table games where odds are easier to understand, and never expect the slots to be generous. Some experienced cruisers even avoid ship casinos altogether and save their gambling fund for ports where the games are more transparent. To bring this home, One ex-crew member shared that on his ship, guests were always surprised to learn that payouts could be remotely adjusted depending on revenue targets. While not every casino uses this practice, the fact it's even possible should make you think twice. Bottom line, the biggest win at sea is leaving the casino with tomorrow's excursion money still in your pocket. The hidden risk of shore excursions, outsourced and underinsured. Your cruise brochure might dazzle you with excursions like jungle treks or exclusive beach days, but many of these are run by third-party vendors, not the cruise line itself. That means safety standards, training, and insurance can vary widely, especially in developing destinations where regulations are looser. One former assistant cruise director recalled a hiker slipping on an unmarked jungle trail. The line refunded the excursion quietly, but the passenger had to manage medical bills on their own with no official reporting and no explicit responsibility accepted. One smart traveler tip for you: whenever possible, book excursions directly through the cruise line because they tend to vet these vendors, read recent reviews, and always ask if the provider carries liability insurance. If something feels rushed or disorganized, skip it. Sometimes exploring independently in a safe port is more cost-effective and far less risky. The cruise hidden world below deck. Behind the polished smiles and seamless service lies a world most passengers never see. Ex-crew often describe life on board as grueling: 10 to 14-hour shifts, 7 days a week, for contracts lasting 6 to 9 months. Living quarters are cramped, usually windowless, and often shared with 2 or 3 roommates. Privacy is almost non-existent. Former bartenders and stewards recall finishing exhausting shifts only to return to cold meals or broken air conditioning in tiny cabins. For many workers from developing countries, the job is a sacrifice: long hours at sea in exchange for wages that support families back home. Knowing this doesn't mean you should feel guilty about your vacation. What ex-employees emphasize is the value of kindness. A thank you, a smile, or a fair tip goes further than most passengers realize. Crew remember those gestures for years. Some even share stories of passengers who treated them with respect, and in return they quietly went the extra mile: a surprise dessert, a room upgrade, or simply better service every day. The secret life of the crew is tough, but your awareness and kindness can make their experience a little brighter. False free perks, the hidden sales pitch. Who doesn't love a free glass of champagne at the art auction or a complimentary spa consultation? Former crew members admit these perks are rarely free in spirit. They're part of a carefully designed sales funnel. At art auctions, the bubbly is just the bait. Guests enjoy the show, get caught up in the excitement, and suddenly feel pressure to bid. There are plenty of reports of couples walking away with thousands charged to their account for artwork they thought was a lighthearted souvenir. In the spa, that no-cost consultation often leads to aggressive upselling of detox wraps, anti-aging creams, or weight loss programs. Wine tastings? They end with offers to buy bottles at double or triple the price you'd pay on land. The truth is, these activities are built on commission. Staff often earn extra for every sale, which explains the enthusiastic pitch. It's not about generosity, it's business. The smart move is simple: enjoy the perk, but keep your wallet closed unless you truly want the product. As one ex-entertainment staffer put it, take the champagne, smile, and walk out. The truth about drink packages. Unlimited drink packages sound tempting. Pay a flat fee, then sip cocktails all week without worrying about the bill. But the math doesn't always work in your favor. Packages often cost $65 to $90 per person per day. To break even, you'd need to drink 6 to 8 cocktails daily, every single day, including port days when you're off the ship and mornings when you may not feel like drinking. Most passengers don't hit those numbers. Surveys and travel reviews suggest the average cruiser enjoys 2 to 3 alcoholic drinks a day. At that rate, you're overspending by hundreds of dollars per week. Former bartenders say the package is highly profitable for the cruise line. Passengers think they're getting a deal, but in reality, only heavy drinkers come out ahead. Smart cruisers set a daily budget and order drinks à la carte. Sharing a bottle of wine with dinner is usually cheaper per glass, and many ports offer cocktails at half the ship's price just steps from the pier. Unless you're planning to make the bar your second home, skip the package and save. Gratuities and the smart tipping secret. One of the biggest surprises for first-time cruisers is how tips actually work. On most ships, gratuities aren't optional. They're automatically added to your bill at about $15 to $20 per person per day. For a couple on a week-long sailing, that's well over $200. Cruise lines present this as crew appreciation, but here's what former workers explain. The money goes into a pool and is divided across many departments. That means your amazing cabin steward may only see a small portion, while laundry staff or galley workers you never meet also get a share. So what's the smart move? Most experienced travelers recommend leaving the automatic gratuities in place because it guarantees fair distribution across the crew. But if someone really makes your trip special, nothing beats cash in hand. And here's a secret ex-crew love to share. Tip at the beginning, not just at the end. A small envelope with $20 to $40 and a thank you note on embarkation day often leads to standout service all week, such as extra pillows, fresh ice, or little favors handled quickly. The system keeps everyone paid, but that personal touch sets you apart. For crew who work exhausting hours, a kind gesture early on makes you unforgettable. When stuff disappears, how theft gets quietly handled at sea. If something disappears, your wallet, a camera, or even a suitcase, you might expect a full-blown investigation. But former security staff say that unless it's major or violent, many thefts are handled quietly to avoid upsetting passengers and harming the cruise line's reputation. Often you're told to double-check your cabin or rely on insurance without much formal action. The reasoning? A big scene can kill the vacation vibe and risk future bookings. That means low-value losses frequently never see a detective. They just fizzle out behind the scenes. Security may be told to downplay it. One ex-crew member admitted most thefts are swept under the rug unless there's surveillance footage or clear value at stake. So the best move? Use the in-cabin safe. Don't leave valuables in public areas, and take a snapshot of your bags before heading out. That digital proof can make all the difference if you need to claim it later. Specialty restaurants. Are they really worth it? The moment you board, you'll see passengers lining up to book specialty restaurants. Italian trattorias, steakhouses, sushi bars. They sound irresistible. But former crew members point out a surprising truth. Some of these dishes come from the same kitchens that serve the main dining room. The difference? Fancier plating, better lighting, and a much bigger bill. Most specialty venues charge $45 to $75 per person, on top of your cruise fare. The food isn't always bad, far from it, but the value often isn't there. Regular dining rooms sometimes offer off-menu items if you ask politely, including lobster tail or premium cuts of meat. Build a relationship with your server and you might enjoy meals that rival anything in the specialty venues. Experienced cruisers say the real luxury is flexibility. Instead of locking into a $150 dinner for two at a set time, enjoy your included dining where the service is just as warm. Specialty restaurants can be fun for a splurge, but don't let the marketing fool you. The best food memories often come from the crew who already know your name. Food finesse, or not, what the crew reveals about cruise cuisine. When you see those lavish buffet spreads, you might assume everything is crafted from scratch by world-class chefs. In reality, cruise kitchens face the challenge of feeding thousands under time and space constraints. Many items like scrambled eggs use pasteurized egg products, and pastries or desserts may be pre-made and frozen ashore before getting reheated on board. That's not necessarily bad. It's a practical solution to a massive culinary operation, but it does mean that not all dishes are as fresh as they appear. On the flip side, mega ships like Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas employ full butcher shops, bakeries, and vast galley structures where produce is prepped daily, showing that some lines still invest heavily in culinary quality. One tip from ex-crew wisdom: stick to made-to-order stations like omelet bars or pasta chefs. These are handled fresh and taste noticeably better. One former steward joked that on his ship, if you asked for real eggs instead of the liquid egg mix, the chef would gladly whip up a proper omelet. Just steer clear of the tired buffet eggs. Beat the morning rush, disembarking without the stress. Disembarkation day can feel like herding cats, hundreds of sleepy passengers rushing off at once. But smart cruisers know slow and steady wins the race. Many opt for self-assist disembarkation, carrying only their own bags and skipping the checked luggage chaos. Why it works? You choose when to leave, not when your group is called. Grab one last leisurely breakfast, climb the stairs while they are empty, and stroll off with minimal lines. One user on Cruise Critic shared how taking a late departure tag meant waiting less and enjoying calm terminal moments. One cruiser said, "We linger for breakfast, relax at our table, and are usually off the ship around 9:30, leaving the crowds behind with luggage in hand and stress at the buffet table." And what's the catch? Just have a small carry-on for your first morning essentials, travel documents, and a change of clothes, and don't mind a little walk. You'll exit refreshed, not frazzled. Cabin upgrades. The right way to ask. Who doesn't dream of stepping into a balcony stateroom after paying for an inside cabin? Ex-crew and travel experts agree. Upgrades are possible, but timing is everything. Asking at the pier during check-in rarely works. By then the ship is full and staff are overwhelmed. The sweet spot is 60 to 90 days before sailing. That's when cruise lines balance cabin categories, and you can sometimes score upgrades at 50 to 70% less than the original price difference. A polite call directly to the cruise line works better than going through your travel agent. Key phrases matter too. Instead of saying, "Can I get a free upgrade?" try, "Are there any promotions to move to a balcony cabin?" Sometimes, just asking gets you an offer. There's also the guarantee trick. Book the cheapest cabin in a category, and the cruise line assigns you any room available, sometimes much better than what you paid for. Stories abound of passengers moving from inside cabins to suites for just a couple $100 extra. The golden rule: be polite, be flexible, and ask at the right time. The Wi-Fi trick that saves you big money. Cruise Wi-Fi has a reputation: expensive, slow, and usually frustrating. On many ships, packages cost $25 to $35 per day, which quickly adds up to hundreds, but ex-passengers and crew point out a secret: prices usually drop as the cruise goes on. Why? Because cruise lines would rather sell a discounted package than let bandwidth go unused. That means buying Wi-Fi on embarkation day is almost always the most expensive mistake you can make. Wait until day 3 or 4, and you'll often see discounts of 30 to 50%. Some lines even offer last-chance deals on the final days for a fraction of the original cost. There's another insider trick. In many Caribbean or Mediterranean ports, you can grab a day pass for $5 to $10 at a cafe or use local SIM cards. One seasoned cruiser shared how their family of 4 connected all devices via a portable hotspot in port for less than the price of a single cocktail on board. Takeaway: unless you truly need to be online 24/7, skip the first day hype. Patience pays, and you'll keep more money for excursions, drinks, and souvenirs that are far more fun than uploading selfies at sea. Hidden corners of the ship: secrets crew love. While passengers crowd the buffet or scramble for loungers, the crew knows where the quiet spots are. Former employees have shared that almost every ship has hidden gems that rarely make it into brochures. These include tucked-away lounges behind art galleries, small decks accessible only by side stairwells, and viewing areas near the helipad that offer unbeatable sunsets. One ex-entertainment host admitted her favorite spot wasn't the top deck, but a tiny nook by the helipad that stayed nearly empty. Others mentioned quiet corners of libraries or observation lounges, perfect for reading and coffee without the noise of the pool deck. Even more interesting, some ships have discreet backdoor routes to the buffet or pool. Regular cruisers who discover them move around without fighting crowds. Crew often befriend passengers who are curious enough to explore, sharing hints about the best sunrise spots or shortcuts. If you want to find these places, the advice is simple: befriend the crew. Bartenders, entertainers, and stewards often love sharing these tips with polite, friendly guests. Those little secrets can transform your cruise from busy to blissful. Port day cabin cleaning: the overlooked secret. Most passengers rush off the ship the moment it docks, eager to explore. But ex-crew reveal that mornings in port are when housekeeping does its deep cleaning and restocking. While you're ashore, they refresh cabins, refill minibars, and handle maintenance that can't be done while you're inside. If you leave with the crowd at 8 a.m., you may come back to a room that hasn't been touched yet, especially if your steward is assigned multiple cabins. But if you stay on board until 10:30 or 11 a.m., your cabin will usually be spotless when you return, sometimes with extra amenities or thoughtful touches if you've built a good relationship with your steward. The bonus: port mornings are the perfect time to enjoy empty pools, hot tubs, or spa discounts that only apply when the ship is quiet. Then you can head ashore later, skipping the big crowds at tourist spots. Think of it as flipping the script: enjoy the ship while everyone else is gone, and return to a refreshed cabin without ever waiting for service. Laundry shock: how to save big on clothes washing. If you've ever peeked at the professional laundry price list aboard a cruise, you're probably gasping. A single load by cabin crew can cost $20 to $30, or more depending on the line. But here's the insider secret: many ships offer self-service laundry for about $2 to $4 per wash or dry load, a bargain compared to full service. Some even include detergent or let you bring your own detergent sheets and pods. That's roughly 10–15% of the cost of valet cleaning. Why it matters: packing light is possible. Bring a few days' worth of clothing and wash mid-journey on a sea day. You'll save space and money. Self-service laundries are often underused, especially during port days, letting savvy cruisers breeze in and out. An ex-guest shared in a cruise critic forum that Princess's self-service laundromats were nearly empty most sea days, and he paid about $7 for one load including detergent and managed to enjoy the rest of the day relaxing elsewhere. Takeaway: unless you're sailing with high-end perks or loyalty status that includes free laundry, treating the onboard laundromat like a budget booster is a smart, stress-free move. Formal wear rentals: why they're a waste of money. Packing for a cruise can be stressful, especially with formal nights on the schedule. Cruise lines know this and offer tuxedo and cocktail dress rentals, often advertised as a convenient solution. Prices may sound reasonable, around $40 to $50 for a tuxedo and $30 to $40 for a dress, but ex-crew and passengers say the reality is disappointing. Outfits are worn hundreds of times, often don't fit well, and can arrive wrinkled or stained. Many passengers end up uncomfortable all evening, tugging at ill-fitting clothes or giving in to overpriced boutique purchases on board. The smarter option is to prepare at home. Department store clearance racks, outlet malls, and thrift shops frequently have formal wear for $30 to $60, clothes you actually own and can reuse. And here's the real secret. Dress codes are far more flexible than cruise lines imply. A dark suit works perfectly for men, no tuxedo required. Women can wear any polished outfit, from a nice dress to stylish separates. Former crew confirm that as long as you look neat and respectful, you'll fit right in. Save your money for experiences, not for rentals that look better in brochures than in real life. Buffet rush hour. Why timing is everything. If you head to the buffet at 12:30 p.m. or 7 p.m., prepare for chaos. Food stations run low, lines stretch endlessly, and finding a table feels like musical chairs. Former crew confirm what savvy passengers already know: the buffet has peak hours, and they're best avoided. The smarter play is to eat earlier or later. Lunch at 11:30 a.m. or 2 p.m. means fully stocked stations, clean tables, and zero stress. Dinner at 5:30 p.m. offers the same calm before the rush. Some ships even refresh the buffet mid-afternoon, giving you access to the freshest dishes without the crowds. What many don't realize is that the main dining room is sometimes open for lunch, offering full menus with better service and fewer crowds. Room service, which is usually free at lunch, is another underrated option. The buffet can be a highlight or a headache. The difference is timing. Those who plan around the rush hours often enjoy a quieter, tastier experience, while everyone else fights over the last slice of pizza. Thanks for sailing with us to the end. If this helped you cruise smarter, please like and subscribe so you will not miss future tips. Want more? Click the next video on your screen for practical ways to save money, avoid hassles, and enjoy your vacation even more. See you aboard.